Morgan, your earrings are so cute. Where did you get them? They are completely fetch.
Oh my god. First of all, I know they are. And second of all, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's never going to happen.
I am such a good friend.
And you should lose 3 pounds.
Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of Beauty and the Bitch. I'm Mick.
And I'm Morgan.
And today we are talking about one of our favorite movies of all time. I think that's fair to say.
I think that's super fair to say. We're both on board with this.
Yes. We are talking about Mean Girls. And I think we like it because, well, frankly, we're both mean girls.
So, yes. Okay, so I thought a lot about this.
Deeply.
Deeply. Am I a mean girl? And to be true, I can be mean, but most of my meanness is shared only with a couple people. I would never go out of my way to, be rude directly to someone's face. So I don't think that and also I'm not, intrinsically rich and extravagant and beautiful. So I'm not, the same kind of mean girl, but, definitely there's a different version of Mean Girls, and we are starring in that film.
Absolutely. You know what? I totally agree. I feel like we are what happens when you have the personality of a mean girl, but not the privilege.
Right. If only our father hadn't been a toaster strudel.
Everything would be different, and we'd be actual villains.
Would be crazy. Yeah.
But, we've both overcome a lot in life. I grew up gay in the South, and you have a head that size.
Yeah, it's, as the doctor said, uncharacteristically large.
Well, I also think, I don't know about you, but looking back at high school, right, which is when mean girls tend to flourish, so they exist everywhere. Yes. I think most people know that. But in high school, I think we were mean girls sometimes, but I think generally we were, Robin Hood-esque mean girls. So, we weren't mean to, the kid with the limp and the kid with the lisp and, the poor kid, a.k.a. us.
Yeah.
We were mean to, the stupid cheerleader who we hated, which was not all of them, because there were some very awesome cheerleaders.
But we weren't yes, I hear you, and we were, but we were behind their back mean, at...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just for our own comical purposes. We
That's
were
true.
mean. We weren't mean. We didn't maliciously seek out to make them unhappy or destroy their lives and steal their boyfriends.
We did throw a lot of stank face, though.
And we did. We had a lot of shade and a lot of stank face. That's true.
You're right. That's what it was. It was shade. It wasn't true mean girl bullying, but definitely shade.
Even in our adolescence, developing our shade at a young age.
I know.
And now look at it blooming.
Yes! We're a whole meadow full of shade trees
So
now.
beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, so if we were quasi-mean girls in high school...
That's true.
What do you think you were? What have you become over the years? There's all these different things, right, at their school that you can identify with, sexually active band geek, or even if there was a group you could... I think actually what we would have been a hybrid of the art freaks / the you can't sit with us girls, because we were nerdy and whatever, but we did have that mean girl touch where we were we are our own thing and we don't need you. So I think that we're a hybrid group, but
well, God, I can't. Have you ever seen that movie about the girl? I think Renee Zellweger plays her, and she's a super overachieving high school student.
I think it's Reese Witherspoon in this election.
You're right. Yes, you're 100% right. I feel like we had a touch of that kind of mean girlness, because we were very high achieving, and we may not have been always the coolest, though we had our moments, I will say.
Yeah.
But we just didn't give a shit. And that is kind of that inherent, apathy about other people. Not maliciousness, but just the understanding that I wasn't going to see these people every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And I think it takes, I feel like it's so easy to get caught up in the bullying and the peer pressure and the concern and your image and everything. And I feel really fortunate that, of course, I was self-conscious about a lot of things.
Sure, how could you not be?
God damn it. I just walk right into that shit, don't I?
Yeah.
So I was self-conscious about some things, but also feel really fortunate that I didn't let any of that stuff control my life, and I always had my eye on the future is going to be better, instead of living so hard in the moment of oh, nobody said, like, I'm pretty or, like, I'm not popular today and I'm never going to get elected to, like, anything and everything is stupid. Like, it just, yeah, some of that stuff sucked, like, on a day-to-day, but, like, it didn't get me down, and I feel like it's really shaped who I am today. And I feel like I definitely know people who, like, perhaps peaked in high school because they focused too hard on, like, that, and then, like, everything after that has been them trying to relive, like, to regain the, like, stature of their life in high school. And I feel really fortunate that, like, I had a really low bar, so I've had, like, a lot of places to go since then.
Yeah,
you know?
It really feels like you're doing something, right?
It does.
Yeah, it's an illusion.
When you look at it like that.
That's a great point, though, because I think true Mean Girls, high school should be one of the high points of their lives.
Like, they're still
and they care about it.
That.
They want to make it one of the high points. So that's a good point. You can't really tell if someone's a true Mean Girl until after. Because some people are lifelong Mean Girls in a very sad way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I can think of some people, but I shall name no names.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. There was one girl who peaked in middle school. I think you know who I'm talking about. And it was so sad because I think I called it like 8th grade. I was like, "Oh, she's peaking right now.
It's happening."
Yeah. And then, girl, I was right.
Yeah.
Barefoot and pregnant a couple years later.
Oh, girl. So anyway, so I think it's so interesting to look back on, like, your own high school experience and compare it to something like Mean Girls, because in my opinion, Mean Girls is not just another teen movie, right? Like, there's all these different movies that are supposed to, like, embody high school and, like, the experience of that, and, like, I can't even think of them off the top of my head, but, like, She's All That is, like, one of those quirky, like, teen films, you know? But Mean Girls, while being, like, hilarious and just, like, a straight-up comedy, like, it has, like, little nuggets of, like, so much truth inside of everything. It's so relatable. And it's like a totally different world. And girl, you could not pay me to go back to high school.
Oh, no? No, literally, if I had, let's say I came into just unimaginable wealth and I was like, Morgan, I want you to go back to high school as you are now, and I want you to go through sophomore year again.
Well,
how much would I have to pay you?
As I am now.
But back in time, too. So the people we went to high school with.
Yeah, but then I have to be around all those fucking dummies. And, like, I just don't think
it'd be a lot of money.
It.
What about $500,000?
But, like, I do sophomore year over again, and then I fast forward back to the future, or I have to, like, redo all that time.
Just sophomore year.
And then
sophomore year in isolation. You have your mind now, but you look
and
like
I'm back to presence. Wait, but I look like sophomore Morgan or current Morgan?
You look like sophomore Morgan.
Oh, man, but she was so, like, rotund and stupid.
I thought she was great! Now, that was the year we didn't date. Never mind. For that. No, I mean, she was fine. Year.
She was fine, but, like,
you were still a baby.
She had, like, baby fat and, like, acne. No, she did.
Did she?
Girl, she had acne.
I didn't.
And she wore 5 shirts and 2 skirts and, like, knee-high socks. That was
a good look.
You know, I stand by that look. I stand by that.
Think about what I was
wearing. Trench coat in your underwear.
Exactly. That's today.
So, okay, to be true, you could probably offer me a large sum of money, and I would agree to do that, but I kind of think it would be miserable, and I would probably spend every night just, like, reading a bunch of books to just, like, catch up on shit. But, oh, man. And high school was fine. Like, I'm not one of those people who was, like, high school.
I didn't hate high school, not at all.
I actually had a great time. I just am finally, I've said this before, I'm finally, like, understand who Morgan is, and, like, I'm on a path of, like, looking forward and having, like, future goals, and I just, like, can't even think about looking back. Like, I can't even, like, I'm just, that's done. That
we were completely different people.
Yeah.
I mean,
so different.
So do you believe that people change then?
Yes.
So
I believe that people don't change. You have to try really hard not to change, I think.
That's true.
You think you're really stubborn and going out of your way to not change.
So I don't know if you have anyone who you would think of as, like, a bullying mean girl from high school.
Yeah, I got her in my head.
Okay. I'm off air. I'm interested to know who popped in your head that fast. But if you met her today, do you think that would you expect her to have changed, or do you think the thing that made her a mean girl will continue on?
I think she changed.
Do you think she changed? That's really awesome.
You know, Regina changed and Katie changed.
Regina kind of changed.
She did. She learned to channel her anger into lacrosse.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Well, and then Katie, you can't even, because she was such a weirdo. Now, she had been homeschooled in Africa.
So impressionable.
Yeah, so that whole thing, she just pretended to be a bitch. That's all.
Ugh,
she pretended really well.
All right, well, let's take it back just a second and talk about some facts and figures, okay?
Yes, okay. About Mean Girls, the movie.
Mean Girls, the movie. Okay, so Mean Girls came out on April 30th, 2004, which would mean we were in the 10th. We were sophomores.
We were sophomores, yeah.
Okay. And it had a running time of 1 hour and 37 minutes, which is, there's like no lag time. It's like a tight film. They kept it tight. It was really good. And it cost $17 million to make.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's kind of a lot, right?
I mean, maybe not
for like how low key it is.
Westworld was like $100 million,
but there was like
right?
little to no like graphic stuff and like whatever.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
How much money do you think it grossed worldwide? Take a guess.
You said it cost $17 million? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna guess it grossed $150 million.
129.
Ooh,
so that's pretty good. Popular. It's not like
a
wildly successful film, but I mean, they certainly made some money.
Mm-hmm.
So in the weekend that it came out, it was the #1 opening movie that weekend, followed by the #2 movie, Man on Fire, starring Denzel Washington. And #3, 13 Going on 30.
Oh my God, hilarious.
Right?
2 Mean Girls, like in movies at the same time.
Yeah, and so it was written by Tina Fey and directed by Mark Waters. And Tina Fey originally got the idea to do it when she was inspired by this ethnography that came out called Queen Bees and Wannabes, helping your daughter survive cliques, gossip, boyfriends, and other realities of adolescence, which is a fucking mouthful, might I add. So she heard that was a book and immediately vied for the rights for it. And then when she got the rights picked up, I read that she kind of freaked out because she didn't understand that it was a nonfiction book that did not have a narrative. Oh. And so she backed herself into being like signed on to write a script for a thing that didn't exist. And so she had to essentially create the whole story around it. But of course, then she read the book and she got like a ton of brilliant ideas like you do. And she turned it into the beautiful, wonderful classic that we have today. And
so is she the only writer? Is she like the primary writer?
I think she's the only credited writer.
That's amazing. She's so talented. I love Tina Fey.
Yeah, she's amazing. So, in the ratings for Mean Girls on IMDb, it only has a 7 out of 10, which I was surprised about, right? Like, that's not very good. But then I looked on Amazon and it has 4.5 out of 5 stars on there. Okay. So I think it just depends on, like, where people are rating it. But
I will tell you, if, like, my grandmother had ever watched Mean Girls, she wouldn't have been at all interested. It's like the time I tried to make my grandpa and grandma watch The Fifth Element. It was on TV.
They didn't like it?
They hated it.
You can't watch it on TV.
No, the commercials fuck it up. But I was very like, okay, this is a great movie, but generationally, this is just not something you're interested in. I feel like Mean Girls is similar.
And I was reading that, like, at the time, it wasn't super well received. Like, people weren't going out of their way to talk about how amazing it is. But kind of over time, it's morphed into a cult classic because it's so, like, quotable, and there's just like so many people in it who are now super famous. I mean, Tina Fey herself like wasn't the biggest star when this movie came out in 2004.
It's actually easier to like list the actors who aren't famous.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like most of them have gone on to pretty successful careers.
Yeah. And okay, so an interesting thing that I read and learned about and think is so interesting is, you know, like when they make movies, they'll be like, let's make a video game out of it, even if like, why? Just like, why? You know? They did that with Mean Girls.
Really?
4 different video games.
I had no idea. I haven't heard of any of them.
They're called Mean Girls High School Showdown, Mean Girls Return to the Plastic, Mean Girls Senior Year, and then Mean Girls DS, which is just the most recent for
so hilarious.
For like the Nintendo handheld.
What kind of games are they? Like,
okay,
what could you possibly?
So the most recent one, the Mean Girls DS, the game is just like a single player puzzle game, and it allows the player to combine similarly colored jewels, shoes, and lipsticks, and chain combinations together that unleash rumors, pranks, and put downs. So it's just like a puzzle game of you like being mean to people.
I am not fooled. That is such an obvious tie-in for money. That is just a puzzle game. Yeah. I'm mad. That's like Bejeweled or something.
You mad?
I'm mad. I'm not buying a DS now. I was going to.
Yeah. Oh, girl.
Yeah. Now I'm not gonna do it because I'm pissed.
Well, I guess they're gonna probably fail now without your.
Feel my power, Nintendo.
So I learned a lot of really cool facts, but in lieu of hearing myself talk some more, did you learn anything cool about Mean Girls when you were reading about stuff?
I did. Some of these things I had heard before, but I guess I had forgotten because I was shocked like all over again. So tell me if you learned this more, if you knew this already. So as far as age differences of the actors, it's kind of insane because they're playing like, let's say, a mother and two teenage girls. Mm-hmm. But actually, there's an 8-year difference between Katie and Regina. Uh-huh. Right?
With Lindsay Lohan being the younger.
Mm-hmm. But there's only a 7-year difference between Regina and her mother, played by Amy Poehler.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is hilarious. How do you think Amy Poehler felt about being cast in that role?
I remember watching an interview of Tina Fey, and I didn't like rewatch it for this podcast, but I remember specifically her saying when she was casting the film, she had like all these people from SNL that she, her friends that she wanted to be a part of it, but like Amy Poehler didn't fit in, but she was just like, you know what? Amy's hilarious and she's gonna like fucking work it. And so like, who cares? Right? Yeah. Just like, who gives a shit? So they just like put her in.
Yeah.
And about the Rachel McAdams thing, I'm not super surprised because it's actually usually less common for a teenager to actually play a teenager in a teenager film, right? It's usually like a girl that's 30. Mm-hmm. So her being like 26 or 27 or whatever she was, 30 maybe. Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised about that. That makes sense. What I think is surprising is that Lindsay Lohan was so young. Mm-hmm. Really.
And that was before she lost her damn mind. So she was like, she was the heart of that movie. Like, she was amazing.
She was amazing.
She was a leading lady.
Best movie she ever made.
Mm-hmm.
What's so interesting, too, is that Lindsay Lohan at the beginning of the movie was like, she had so much life and was just like, so full and like, so great. And then throughout the movie, as she turned into a plastic, she got terrible, gross, and disgusting, and that's the person she chose to become, right? Like, she did a real life metamorphosis into that.
That's
gross,
horrible. I just got chills. That's so sad.
So it was when I rewatched it, I was kind of sad thinking of like who she is now, because girl, can't you go back to who you were at the beginning?
I know.
You were doing it right.
Yeah, you were so sweet and adorable.
So
hardworking. Oh my gosh. Well, let's go all the way back to The Parent Trap then, if that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because she was a cute kid, too.
She was.
And really
her
talented
second best
right
movie.
off the bat. Yeah, I totally think so. Of course, I haven't seen Prairie Home Companion, but who has?
I have. It's terrible. Don't
Is it terrible? Yeah, I didn't. Okay. So second little facty fact here. Guess which of the 3 Mean Girls, I guess this is a game, I just decided, wore a wig the entire time of filming?
Rachel McAdams.
Yes, you knew that. It's funny because she already had blonde hair, so like, what?
It's like in the fucking Arrow when Sarah has blonde hair, and then when she goes to be Black Canary, they put a blonde wig on her. Why the fuck do you do that?
You know, the difference, though, is the one that Rachel McAdams wears
is really good.
It's a good wig.
It's a good wig.
Yeah, it's
they
like
just
that
throw
lace
an old
front.
mop on top of Sarah.
Yeah, that fake ass that's like a Party City
so
wig is what she's wearing
really
in the Arrow. Yeah, it's horrible.
Like, even her dad is like, honey, you look terrible.
Yeah, but that one that Rachel McAdams wear, that's like
it's fantastic.
It's like a Nicole Kidman level.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Lace front. Yeah, so good.
And I guess they did that because they wanted her to have that super luscious, like, Barbie hair, right? It's, like, really long and silky. So, she did look fantastic, though.
Yes, she looks gorgeous. Do you think that she looked like a teenager?
No. I think she looked like a early 20s. Like,
now
she could be in college.
Now that I'm older, I think she looks like a college student.
Yeah.
When I was a sophomore, though, I didn't realize she was so much older than us. I really didn't.
I have, like, little to no concept of age and like telling how old a person is. Like, I could be like, your kid, he's like 4, and they're like, he's 13. Like, right. I just have no concept. But now I feel so old because when you see kids who are in high school, don't you feel like they look
tiny.
Baby children?
And sometimes kids come into the shop and they're like legit 14 years old and I think they're like 21. Like sometimes I can't tell. You know, it's like there's that one kid. If you think back, I know you've always been like very short, be embarrassed. I am. But but you know, there's always that one or two kids in class who like grow freakishly at the beginning. I
can think of a couple of people who looked older than everyone else in the grade and like when we were in high school. But Jesus, I mean, you live like next to a high school. Like when they're like getting out of school or something, they all look like they couldn't possibly drive a car. Like they couldn't even be left home alone.
I think I told you about when I was walking up to the grocery store to buy I was going to buy like milk or something, or like the convenience store nearby. And this little high school boy came up behind me and he was like this like kind of chubby, like probably a sophomore, African-American boy, very gay. And he started talking to me, and he asked me for a cigarette, and I was like, I don't think so. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't share today. But really, it's because he looked like he was 2 years old. Yeah. And then he was like, I think I've seen you on Grindr. And I was like,
oh, no.
I was like, oh, have you? I just thought it was so cute. And he tried to make conversation, and I just kept putting my earbuds back in, because we were walking the same way, so it was really awkward. But I was like, I'm so sorry, little man, but...
Like, how old high school do you think he was? Like, a senior?
It's hard to tell, because he had, like, a baby face, but he could have been, like... what we were just talking about, I have no idea.
Do you think...
He might have been a fucking... Maybe he was the principal, I don't know.
But okay, but say he was in high school.
I guess he was, like, a sophomore.
Do you think high school kids could and should be on dating services / hookup?
You know, that is kind of...
Like, no, how not can they be? Do they have to lie about their age to get an account?
They have to say they're 18.
Yeah.
I think once you're 18, you're 18. That's how I feel. Because I know when I was 18, I mean, granted, I was in the closet and, like, we live in Arkansas and all this stuff. But, like, if I had had access to Grindr and been out, I would have... Yeah, because 18-year-old boys are fucking horny, you know?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I don't mind... that necessarily, because you have a fair amount, like on Grindr you can block people if someone's creepy or like, you know, and there are tons of... I got on Grindr when it came out. I was like, what, 20 or 21, and there are tons of younger guys on there. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's fine. A sophomore in high school? No, not really. Yeah, no, like, if you want to, like, you need to have, like, the high school romance.
Because they're also, I mean, realistically endangering, like...
well, yeah, that's jailbait also.
Yeah, like, you could go to jail if, like, they said they were 18, but then they weren't.
Also, it's just, like, he was... I don't know. I guess I'm probably, like, gilding the lily or, like, saying something that's incredibly obvious, but, like, he was such... even had he been, like, the most beautiful boy in his high school, he was a baby. Yeah. And I was just like, you are so cute.
He just wanted
that you don't like see the difference between us. Yeah, that's why he wanted a ciggy.
Yeah, he did.
That's why he goes on Grindr looking for
He just wants a big old fag.
Girl.
Just like that girl who pretends like she has like affectations from London.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
I lived there for 4 years. Pass me the aluminium. Can I bum a fag?
I'd like a fag, please. Wouldn't we all, baby? Okay, next little fact. Jonathan Franzese, who plays... What's his face? I want my picture back. I want my picture back. Yeah, Damien. He didn't even have to audition for that role.
No. And I read they searched really hard for him. Like, it was hard for them to find the right person.
Oh, yeah. And when they met him, they were just like, oh, you're obvious. Yeah, Tina Fey was like, yeah, he's the one. Yeah. That's so... You know, I got to meet Jonathan Franzese at DragCon last year.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
He was sitting at a table with James St. James of, like, Party Monster fame, you know, like the club kid. And I'm a big fan of both of them. And it was the first people we talked to, me and my friend Deirdre. And I totally fangirled and made a fool of myself.
Aww.
Because I
were you like, I want my pink shirt back?
I mean, that would have been better. That actually would have been better. No, it's horrifying what I did. I walked up to James St. James and said, oh, I love you, blah, 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 whatever. Had him sign a thing. And then I went over to James, or that is to Franzese. And I was like, you know, I love your work in Mean Girls, blah, blah, blah. I saw you in some movie, and you were, like, super butch, and you were, like, an announcer guy, and they were sitting at, like, the table for this Club Kids movie, and it was that fucking movie, and he looked at me, and he was like, I can't remember the name of the movie now, Party Monster. He was like, Party Monster, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's it, and I, like, totally blushed, but then they forgave me, because Deirdre and I were so excited, and he pulled out a crown from underneath the table, and he broke it, and he gave me and Deirdre a piece of the crown. And I have that crown still. It's packed away, like piece of the crown. And he took pictures with us. He was so nice. Like,
That's
I loved
so
him.
great.
Yeah, and I was not at my best, so.
Well, you never are.
Fair enough, yeah. Okay, little known fact number 4. They, being Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, and Lorne Michaels, worked on Saturday Night Live while they were filming Mean Girls. Mm-hmm. So they did full weeks of filming down in, like, wasn't it, like, in Atlanta or something?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know, but it wasn't, like, easy access. No, It was somewhere... Toronto. I think they filmed it in Toronto. And then they would fly in for Saturday Night Live every week. That's
insane. Already, like, Saturday Night Live is already such an overwhelming job.
I would not, speaking of things you'd have to pay me to do, to be an actor, now I could be a writer, I would do that, but like to be an actor on Saturday Night Live, a comic, you would have to pay me so much money, because that seems like the most stressful job.
I agree.
Around. That and the president. And they have the same job, essentially. Make me laugh until I cry. Okay, do you happen to know, last little fact, which day of the year is National Mean Girls Day?
Is that October 3rd?
How did you know?
Is it
fucking
really?
Witch. Yes, how'd you know?
It's because there's like all those memes on October 3rd because when Lindsay Lohan was like ramping up to talk to Aaron Samuels, he asked her what day it was, and
That's
she said,
hilarious.
It's October 3rd.
I did not even connect it. Well, that is National Mean Girls Day.
I love that.
October 3rd. It's a holiday.
So, speaking of Aaron Samuels, the kid who plays him, Jonathan Bennett, I read that Tina Fey only cast him because he looked like Jimmy Fallon.
So funny. And he does. I never would have noticed that until I read it, but I was like, you're right. He does look like, and he has similar, I don't know. The way he moves reminds me of Jimmy Fallon, too. Mm-hmm.
And the way he laughs hysterically at himself when he's supposed to be acting.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Like
some of the outtakes are ridiculous, yeah.
Other casting things that I read, Lindsay Lohan originally wanted to play Regina, but the director, Mark Waters, he had just directed Freaky Friday with her in the lead role or whatever, and so he wanted her for Katie, and she wanted to like kind of break out and like play something different, and he was like, girl, play to your strengths, you're gonna be the good girl. And I think that was the right choice for her, for sure,
especially because that role allowed her also to be a bitch.
It did,
like Katie is bitchy. So.
And Scarlett Johansson screen tested for the role of Karen, which would be a totally different film. And so did Ashley Tisdale, if you guys know who she is.
Yeah, from High School Musical. Not,
Yeah.
I'm. You know what? I'm glad for Ashley Tisdale's sake that she didn't get it, because I feel like that is such, what's that called? Where you put someone in the same, typecasting.
Yeah.
And like, she plays a mean girl already. Like a lame mean girl.
So just some other little things that I learned, and I think you already knew this because I think we've talked about this before, but they kind of struggled to get their rating to stay PG-13, and so they had to make a lot of changes with like the language. And so in the segment where Katie is walking by and she talks, the guy comes out and he's like, we're doing a lunchtime survey, and he asks her if her muffin is buttered. Originally he asked her if her cherry was popped, and so they didn't like that, so they had to change that.
Which is so, it's so funny to me because those are both quite vulgar, but something about is your muffin buttered is both smarter, like that's wittier to me, but it's also more skeezy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, that's just so icky to me.
Yeah.
Super icky.
And then the other thing is that girl who made out with a hot dog.
That was one time.
That was originally, she masturbated with a hot dog, which makes way more sense because why would she make out with a hot dog?
I wonder if they could have changed it to deep-throated a hot dog, because that would have had some of the sexual connotation, but it wouldn't be as like obviously. I don't know, probably
it would
not.
Make more sense, but I bet they wouldn't let that slide either.
But Morgan, I also think you're not being fair, because I've been to a family barbecue with you, and I've watched you make out with a hot dog.
I did try to reason, like, what would it look like, and I was like, is it when you're really starving, and then, like, you just, like, get that first bite of hot dog in your mouth, girl. So good. I imagine that's what it's all about.
Yeah, something like that.
Also, did you know that Regina means queen in Latin?
I did know that because I took 3 years of Latin.
God!
Wow!
You're so braggadocious.
I'm a freaking... Oh! I'm just saying, I'm a classics major, and I feel like you don't validate that part of my personality enough.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was doing anything else but listening to you. Also, another interesting thing, Tina Fey identified as being a mean girl in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel better about our possibly shady past.
Yeah. Me too, for sure.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of mean girl. I bet she was a high-performing mean girl.
Oh,
like
she
an
has
election.
to be. I think that's the only kind of level she probably has. Like, crazy overachiever.
I wonder who she was mean to, though. I want to know more. Tina Fey, come on the podcast.
We love you, baby!
Your nail bits suck.
Ugh, you have man shoulders. You do, though.
That's funny because it's true.
So part of the brilliance of Tina Fey, she's an excellent writer, and part of the brilliance of Mean Girls and the reason it lives on with such glory is that it is so quotable, right? Like, 100%. I legit use probably every single day of my life a quote from Mean Girls, and we'll continue to do that.
I didn't leave the South Side for this.
Love it. So I just want to hit you with my top 5 Mean Girls quotes, and I have to tell you, it was really hard to pick 5.
I didn't even try.
So I also have a couple of runner-ups just as like they almost made it, but they didn't. Okay? So, number 5. She doesn't even go here!
Do you even go here?
No, I just have a lot of feelings. So, that line can be integrated into most conversations. Anytime you're talking shade about somebody, you can pretty much incorporate that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Number 4. So you agree. You think you're really pretty? So this one can also be used in just general conversation, especially if you're going to give your friend a compliment. Like, even on her wedding day, like, oh my God, you're so beautiful.
Did anyone do that to you on your wedding day?
No, but everyone should.
I should have.
Yeah, but if she says thank you, the appropriate response is, so you agree. You think you're really pretty.
Did you ever undergo... Well, actually, I've got a little game for you in a bit.
Okay,
I love that quote.
Number 3. Boo, you whore.
That's probably the one I say most often.
Yeah, all the time. For anything, really, truly. You can say it to your mom, you can say it to your dad, you can say it to
Walking
your boss.
Down the street, you don't like someone's shoes.
You can say it to yourself.
I do. And every morning when I wake up, I spend 10 minutes sobbing, staring into the mirror, saying over and over, boo, you whore. Boo, you whore.
And when Rachel McAdams says this, the scene is like so subtly funny because they're doing like a 3-way calling situation, and she's like sitting on hold, and she cuts off a tiny piece of a loaf of bread, and then she stares at the tiny piece, throws it, and then she picks up the giant chunk of bread and just starts eating it. And it's amazing, and I love her.
It's her diet, you know? She wants to lose 3 pounds.
Speaking of her diet, number 2, I want to lose 3 pounds.
How did I know I'm psychic?
So, even if you don't want to lose 3 pounds, you should always tell everyone that you want to lose 3 pounds.
You know what I really like about that scene is when Aaron Samuels picks up the cranberry juice, and he's like...
It's like cranberry cocktail.
Yeah, it's not... Which I feel like I've seen people do this. Be like, ooh, I'm gonna, like, juice it. And they buy, like, cheap-ass, like, sugary drinks. Yeah, girl, you're not losing 3 pounds. You're gaining 4.
And then there's this other moment where she's trying to figure out the percentage of fat. And then Katie's like, it's 40% fat. And she's like, whatever, I'm getting cheese fries.
Yeah. Is butter a carb?
Yes. Which brings us to my number 1 favorite quote from Mean Girls. Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Really? That's your number 1?
I love that. I think it's so hilarious. And that, like, maybe it's because I do a lot of shopping for, like, work stuff. But, like, anytime, like, I need to, like, buy work stuff, like, I know I can always reach out to my girl Allison and tell her, like, get in, loser. We're going shopping. Yeah. I can say it a lot. A whole lot.
You know why I think... In that scene, I'm so obsessed with Aaron Samuels because he's in his soccer uniform.
Oh, he was looking so cute.
And for me, like, my high school, like, dream was, like, a soccer player. Like, I thought they were so sexy. So I don't like that line because it takes us away from Aaron Samuels. And I want to stay there.
I loved it. Okay, so then I have just 2 runner-ups.
Okie dokies.
And I will say it was really hard to come up with that 5 list. So... Anyway, it might change on different days, but that's how I felt last night when I wrote this. So my 2 runner-ups. Number 1, what are marijuana tablets?
That one's easy to miss. You have to be like
you
a
really
super
have to be committed to hear that one. But once you hear it, you'll never be able to talk about marijuana the same again without thinking about marijuana tablets. And my number 2 runner-up, I don't think my father, the inventor of toaster strudel, would be too pleased to hear about this. Right? Gretchen Wieners? None for Gretchen Wieners!
None for Gretchen Wieners, bye.
Bye.
I love that. I can't believe you didn't do Glen Coco. Do for Glen Coco. Good for you, Glen Coco.
I love that, but like, and I do use that in my everyday life, but I feel like these other quotes are more applicable to like my situation.
That's totally legit.
Because I want to lose 3 pounds and I don't even go here.
I really like that whole my father invented toaster strudel thing because I feel like I've seen people do that. Not with toaster strudel, obviously.
But be like, I'm important because of this thing that my parents did.
Okay, so I've got some Mean Girls moments, and I want to know if you ever experienced these moments or things or people
We're going to have to do a therapy sesh after this.
Yes, we just might. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and slip you this tab right now.
Thank you.
So,
it's blue.
Ooh. Okay, so Morgie, did you ever experience slutty Halloween outfits? I'm a mouse, duh.
Okay, do you mean personally or just in general?
Yes.
Both. Yes. Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever personally wear one? I don't remember you wearing.
Not in high school.
Yeah.
In college.
Yeah. What was your go-to like slutty Halloween outfit?
Okay, so I did a lot of costume stuff in college because every party is like themed. So I can't think like specifically like what for Halloween, but my freshman year and probably like my sophomore year, like every party was an excuse to like buy a thing of fabric and somehow turn it into a costume that showed like all of my giant boobs because my boobs were enormous in college. Like they're still big today, but they ain't got nothing on College Morgan.
Did you just lose weight? Is that why?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they went down quickly.
Oh.
So I was just like always trying to show off my boobs and then like a lot of leg action. So I specifically remember there was like a toga party where Sarah and I just literally bought like sheer sheets and just like wrapped them around us with belts and like every boob was hanging out and like it was just so much skin action. So yeah, I definitely did that. I grew out of it. I grew like less enchanted with the idea of like being attractive for like other people, and then started just dressing up as like Ginny Weasley or Hermione when she takes the Polyjuice potion and like that being like the acceptable version of my costumes. And that's kind of where I am still. I mean, you still want to be like a little sexy, right? But definitely girl in college, every other girl was like a sexy ladybug. Duh.
See, I was like, I went opposite because in college I dressed up. Well, sometimes I did drag, in which case sex was kind of part of it. But I dressed up as like the bathroom floor of our dorm bathroom at one point. Yeah, it was not sexy. Like, it was hideous. It was gross. It was like the ex-wife that Katie dresses up as, you know? But like recently, I went to a Christmas party. It was like a costume party. And we were supposed to go, this was like 2 years ago, as the thing we wanted most for Christmas as a child, which is a good theme, right? Well, I couldn't think of anything, so I just didn't wear a shirt, and I brought a bunch of Sharpies, and I was art supplies, and I had people sign my body.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was like such I'm a mouse, duh. Like, I literally, what I did was go shirtless. That was my outfit.
I love it. And it was winter, but it was Texas, so it was okay.
No, it was in Toronto, actually, so it was very cold.
Very cold.
It was very cold, yeah. My nipples were like diamonds.
Which is what you always wanted as a child.
Yes!
Yay!
So, tell me, Morgie, did you ever experience a surprise phone gang up like they do on Mean Girls? Like a 3-way, like, Mean Girls experience?
I actually think I feel like I did experience it, but I don't know if it was like high school or like a middle school thing. Because I did have like, I went through some tumultuous years of like different friend groups, and I'm pretty sure I experienced like a 3-way call.
Do you remember when your only friends were those 2 tin cans and that piece of cardboard?
Yeah, that's you, so right?
Oh no, I'm not cardboard.
You're a figment of my imagination.
So you did experience
I'm pretty sure I did. I
don't think I ever did.
Definitely like that I've been in that situation.
What I have had happen is I'm talking to someone and then abruptly they're like, oh, blank wants to speak to you. And then blank comes on the phone and starts talking all crazy. Yeah. Like when I was in middle school. But I don't think I've ever had like a 3-way gang up or like a party line.
I'm pretty sure I have. Well, it's usually when like one person just stays silent and they just like are there to hear all the things that you say. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's happened to me.
Do party lines still exist like that?
God,
Can you still do a three-way?
I have no idea.
Who knows? Maybe it's dead forever.
We'll never know.
Yeah, probably not. What about sex ed class? It's one of my favorite, things in the movie.
We had, a sex ed class when we were in, junior high.
I think it was 9th grade.
Yeah. And
Which was junior high for us.
I remember they passed out these things. They wanted us to sign these. I was just telling somebody about this. They wanted us to sign these abstinence pledges. And I wouldn't sign my abstinence pledge. You had to take it home and get your parents to sign it. And I just never brought it back. And they called my dad, and then he asked me about it, and he was kind of like, okay, what's the shade with this? Is it because you're a stupid fugly slut? Or what's happening? Oh, can I add fugly slut to my list of quotes? I forgot about that.
Yes, we can add that
such a failure.
Honorable mention. My little sister thought that was so funny. On our old VCR, or I guess the DVD, I was able to just repeat that second and a half of him saying fuckily slut. And she watched it and laughed for 30 minutes.
It's pretty hilarious.
It's
10 meadows.
So your dad was like, wow, why this
so my dad
sexually
was
active daughter?
Why you do be that? And I was just like, that's dumb, and I shouldn't have to sign this stupid religious bullshit nonsense. Yeah. And he agreed, and so I didn't have to, and then I had to go sit in, was her name Miss Hawk, the principal? I had to sit in the principal's office and explain to her again that I would not be signing it. And then she whatever. Everything was such religious nonsense and bullshit. Whatever. So yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember that. And we would have been at least friends if not dating.
But what we learned about sex? Nothing helpful.
It was useless. Yeah, it was useless.
They didn't talk about condoms or Planned Parenthood or where to get anything useful or birth control.
We learned about the reproductive system.
Yeah, we learned fucking nothing.
Yeah, but terrible. Actual helpful sex ed, no. It was biology. 0%. It was zeroed in biology.
It's crazy.
Okay. Yeah. What about a burn book? Did you ever?
No. Did I ever see one or be a part of? No, I've never experienced it.
You've been part of one, though. I promise you.
I'm sure I have. I actually was thinking about, I was like, what would people write about me? And then I went through a series of things, and for one, fat virgin. That one could apply. That one could totally have applied for me.
Still half true.
Still half true. I'm a virgin because I'm very skinny now. Okay. Follow me on Facebook. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure if I am in something that it's something really generic about me. I never was so offensive that people could write something. It would just be Janice and Dyke. Yeah. It would be nothing that would actually hurt my feelings today.
Now, I would have thought that I'd never been part of a burn book, but in fact, I found when I was
you found your burn book?
Well, I found it was the 6th or 7th grade yearbook, and I had gone through and written horrible things about people.
Did you?
But I just did it all by myself. Yeah. So literally fugly. I was in the closet, so I called a lot of queerish boys gay. Aww. And some of it's horrible though. I was looking through it in Arkansas, and I was truly embarrassed. The things that I don't think I actually even thought that. I think I was just I thought a yearbook was supposed to look like that as a child. Do you know what I mean? All marked up and mustaches drawn in, ridiculous shit like that. So I tried to do that in my tacky sort of maybe mildly autistic way, and it didn't really. It's horrible though. Looking back on it, it's super embarrassing, and I might just throw it away because I don't want
people to find that later and think
think that I think that's
so okay. You made a burn book in 6th grade as well
by myself alone and sad. Yes, I did.
That's hilarious.
Okay, what about a mathlete competition or anything similar to a mathlete competition?
Well, we did competitive speech,
which was similar in ways. Yeah,
which is probably for me the closest thing. I don't think I ever went to an academic competition. I was on the math Olympiads, but we didn't participate in challenges.
I'm sure there were mathlete competitions.
Oh, I'm sure there were. I was not
Mills.
Good
the
enough
kids
to
from
be
Mills
a part of
went to those girls.
For sure, those people. Except for Julie. What a dummy.
Loser.
Love you.
Yeah, I guess competitive speech would be the closest. Those were pretty close. So as far as levels of nerddom, do you remember
for sure.
I did that? What was it called? The kids who brought around the giant rolly boxes full of articles and newspaper clippings.
Debate?
It was debate, but I did it for a while. They would give you a topic.
Yeah.
And you would have like an hour or like 30 minutes or something to prepare. Some kind of a speech. I forget what it's called. But those kids were pretty close to mathletes as far as like social suicide. Mm-hmm. Like they were pretty rough.
Yeah. You were one of them. Mm-hmm.
I was the star. I popped in and then I went back into improv, which was, you must admit, was the cool kids. John Brunson and I. Hey, John, come on the podcast.
You must be confusing your greatness for all the nonsense that Julie and I were bringing.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that y'all never actually did that well, and that John and I were like the stars of all of Arkansas.
I disagree.
I love your bracelet.
Oh my god. Such a mean girl.
Okay, what about tables at lunch? That's one of my favorite scenes in Mean Girls, when they introduce you to all the different cliques via table. Do you think we had that?
Sometimes, I don't know if you have this experience in your life, but like when I try to like remember things that I can't see clearly, I think, do I have early dementia?
Actually,
like, am
I do sometimes worry
my
about
brain
that.
is like turning to mush. I like vaguely remember the cafeteria, but here's all I remember about it. There were stairs that went down into the cafeteria in high school, and our drama classes were on, there was like a door, like at the bottom of each entrance. And that was the center of my life, and what happened beyond that, there were some tables. I don't know if we sat at the same table. Sometimes we went off campus. I don't know what happens at lunchtime. I don't remember. Can you please enlighten me?
You know what? I actually drew a map for you, Morgan.
Oh
I literally, we did. This is unplanned, everyone. This is improv.
Unplanned, like every pregnancy in high school.
Oh. Facts. And this is what our high school looked like. So this is like where you would go in to get food. The theater room, line up here, and you go through the fucking line and get the disgusting food.
This right here is where I tell the lady that I was on the reduced 45-cent lunch.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I was always on free lunch. Yeah. I was always on... we couldn't be mean girls with that shit.
We were just rich enough to have to pay 45 cents.
Look at you. You're a high roller. And these tables, Morgie, were what I think of as, like, our tables. Remember the double doors there opening up into the theater room, but they were never open? That's where we had ice fights and French fry wars.
Yes!
And then there were a bunch of cute boys who would sit like over at this table.
Okay.
But the reason I made these tables look smaller and smaller is because literally my memory is here. And I don't remember... Okay.
Where did the popular kids sit?
So that was like the cute boys. So they'd be like over here, or I think like up here near the line they would sometimes sit.
They would be close to the French fries.
But yeah, honestly though, this is what I mean when I talk about like, we weren't actually big losers, or if we were, we didn't know and didn't care, because I don't fucking remember I didn't care where the popular kids were sitting.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I did not give a shit. So in that way, we were, I don't know,
but we did kind of have, like, our tables that we
did. It was those two, because we were a large group. There were, like, 8 or 9 of us when we had the same lunch, which we didn't always, because there were, like, 3 different lunches. The only table I remember, you know the table in Mean Girls that's, like, the girls who eat their feelings and the girls who don't eat anything.
Yeah.
Like, I remember those tables, but I always thought of them as, like, the trailer park kids. I do remember the trailer park kids as being, like, it was boys and girls, many of them queer, or seemingly queer, who were, like, kind of gothy and looked unhealthy.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. And they were a definite group. And they were good people.
You think they're the only people you can remember who were a clique? I mean, they were definitely, like, not open to outsiders. But, like, I can think of, like...
What can you... I bet I'll remember what
I mean, we were kind of a clique. Like,
well, we were a clique,
We legit, like, wouldn't let people in. We were like,
we
sorry,
absolutely
the
voted
group
people
is
out.
full.
Yeah, there's no room at the table.
There's no room for you.
And we were like the theater nerdy kids. I would call us
band geeks.
Slash band geeks.
We were the art freaks.
Yeah, we were what's her face from Election. We were that girl.
Yeah, we were an amalgamation of like a bunch of things for sure.
I guess the athletes were I guess a group, but honestly, 100%. People I don't care about at all.
Yeah,
those were the cute boys I was talking about. I guess.
Yeah,
cute boys.
And then there was like. There definitely were sexually active band geeks, and they kind of were a group. They weren't a big group, but they did often pair off, and like sometimes would be in like quadrants.
Oh, like those boys. I'm not gonna say their names, but we really liked them. We were good friends with them. Had some classes when they were a year older than us. Yep. Those were the sexually active band geeks, weren't they?
Sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I never put that together.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they were much hotter in real life than they are in the movie.
Oh,
just for the record.
Yeah.
The cheerleaders, that was a group.
Yeah.
Dance team was like the B-side cheerleaders.
I had a lot of friends who, not that I wasn't friends with the cheerleaders, because we actually had a lot of really nice cheerleaders.
There were, yeah.
But we just weren't friends, like they wouldn't call me to hang out on the weekend.
Yeah,
but,
who would?
But I did have a lot of, like, friends on the dance team that,
me too.
That, like, I still feel like I could, like, grab lunch with.
Well, like, here's the thing. If you don't think about it as, like, quality, but just sort of breaking people into groups, technically, like, the cheerleaders and the athletes are, like, the A group, right? Supposedly. I don't know if that's realistic. But then the B group is, like, the big nerds, like we were, the theater kids often, the dance team kids, some of the cooler band kids. Those are generally, I think, considered to be, like, the B group. And so we had almost all of our friends were in, like, the B group.
We were, like, second string.
Kind of, yeah. But, like, we had no idea. No one could tell us that. So we just thought we were fabulous. But I think if outsiders were looking at it, we weren't wearing, like, the cheerleader uniform and, like, the fucking, what's that athlete jacket that they wear? Letterman jacket. So, like, we couldn't have been part of the A group according to, like, stereotypes. So we were solidly B group.
Yeah. Sometimes C, depending on what's
happening. Depending on how many skirts you were wearing that day, girl.
Morgan made many fashion choices throughout life.
Okay, so if you had to say, last little one here, did you experience mean girls in high school? If you just had to say.
Yes, but not consistently.
Totally.
As part of my, like, roving friendship, sort of, like, you know, I had, like, a couple of different groups.
Your eternal loneliness, you mean?
Yeah, my eternal loneliness. I mean, I experienced, like, moments of, like, girls just being mean for, like, no reason. And, frankly, I, at some point, was, like, mean for no reason to, like, people. Yeah, so I've been a mean girl and, like, have experienced girls being mean to me. And it sucks. It really sucks. And it really, like, there's a reason that, like, there was this ethnography, this, like, book written to help, like, parents understand, like, navigating that world, because it's so, like, complicated. And, oh my God, can you imagine how much worse it must be today with, like, cell phones and social media and, like, all these other different methods of, like, bullying and, like, stalking and, like,
what I can imagine is what it would be like to grow up. First of all, today, yes, because the phone and all that online stuff is horrifying to me. But also, like, if we'd grown up in, say, like, Bel Air, or some place where there are legitimate rich kids and I think that was the reason there wasn't much. There's not a clique problem at this school, but there really wasn't much of a. It wasn't
bad.
And it's because, frankly, we were from a lower class community. Yeah. Some people were more comfortable than others. There were people I thought of as rich, but now that I've seen the world, I'm like, no one was rich. Actually, no one in our school was rich. So I think that would have made a big difference, because I think so much of it is money based.
Yeah, you're right. You true. Another interesting thing I've seen is, like, a couple different girls, because we're kind of in that age group where a lot of people have kids now, and, like, some people have kids, like, in elementary school, because they started that shit early. And I see people on Facebook talking about, like, their children experiencing bullying. And
it must be so, like, hard as a parent. Like, what do you do?
Dealing with that. Yeah. And I saw this, I actually saw two different girls that I knew talk about it and then say, also, this is karma because I was a bully when I was a kid. And now, like, they have these, like, sweet, innocent children that they created that are being bullied by, like, other people's kids. And I think it gives them, like, a whole new perspective on, like, wow, I was such a fucking dick, you know? And then you have to watch your kid go through it. It must be so hard.
Yeah. I think that's horrible. And I think that also speaks to, like, we were talking about earlier, you were saying you have to try really hard not to change, not to evolve. That's why I think people who were mean girls in high school, or maybe even middle school, and are still, like, primarily mean girls today, like, they're using that manipulation and that kind of cruelty to get by in life, those are some of the most despicable people I can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because you're talking about someone who used to be a bully, became a parent, like, became more wise, and was like, this is not the way to treat people.
And is presumably a nicer person now.
Presumably, at least sometimes, right? We all have our moments. You have a collection. Ugh. But, like, someone who is still, like, in that mindset at 45 years old, and I've met these people, I think those are the really, like, the closest to a villain that I can imagine, because they haven't grown at all, and they still don't see people as people.
Yeah.
I was horrible in 5th grade. I was a bully in 5th grade.
I feel like, were you telling me... You can cut this out if you want. But were you telling me, like, a story of, like, you bullying Julie? Or her bullying you?
No, Julie was too powerful to bully. I mean, honestly, Julie's size and appearance, and Julie, you should come visit us because we love you.
Miss you.
And, like her weirdness, she's always been very strange.
Still is.
That was her weapon. No, she kind of bullied me. She picked up dog poop when we were in 5th grade on a stick, and she chased me around with the dog poop.
Yep.
And I was a bully, but I was a very, like, delicate bully because I was a tiny, gay, blonde-haired child. So, you know, I was an angel. Oh, well, I just want to put in a little blurb about gay men and their tendency to become mean girls. It's not something like, I don't think I have a lot of information on like gay mean girls in movies and TV, but had I wanted to make that list, I certainly could have made it.
Yeah.
And if anyone doubts that gay men can be mean girls and do it just as well as Regina George, they should check out a movie/play called Boys in the Band. Have you ever seen that, Morgie?
I have not.
It is so good. It's heartbreaking. It was one of the first, if not the first, like, explicit gay movie filmed. That might not be true. It was the first something.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
It's so hard to watch, though, because it's this birthday party, and it's this group of gay men, like, in the 60s or 70s, and so they all come together for this birthday party, but then as they start to get drunk, they start to get nasty, and, you know, back then, they were so repressed that when they got nasty, they got, like, really cruel. And they call it, my favorite quote from it is the main character, who's probably the nastiest once he starts to drink. He talks about waking up some mornings with a case of the icks. So like, ick, what did I do last night? And it's like the story of a night. Oh God, me too. Horribly more times than I can count, actually. But it's like the case of the icks is what he calls it. And he specifically connects it to, like, you drink or you let go in some way, and then all of this, like, sadness and hate and anger, like, boils out of you. Which is why gay men can be such hateful mean girls, I think. And maybe why women are so good at it, too, is because we're an oppressed group of people.
Damn.
Yeah. Comes from a real place. Yeah.
Whew. Well, that's a lot to take in.
I know, right? Just a little light reading. Boys in the Band, though, it's so good. Very funny, too.
Can you tell us, tell us about some other, like, mean girls? Like, where do we see other mean girls in, like, whatever, TV and such?
So I had a lot of fun pulling together this list, and I have to tell you that just in my own head, I'm proud of this, so I'm just legit bragging, I was able to pull together 9 mean girls from movies and TV, and then I had to start researching.
Nice.
But, like, yeah, girl, I love watching movies with mean girls and TV.
A mean girl, as mean as she can be, is, like, such great entertainment.
Very fierce, right? Okay, so my number 10 mean girl, Lana Thomas. Do you recognize that name?
I don't.
She is Mandy Moore in The Princess Diaries. She's like the mean girl to Mia Thermopoulos's character.
Yeah.
Remember, she gets the ice cream like pushed on her chest. And Mia is changing at the beach after that cute but stupid boy hits on her, and they pull the tent away, and all the photographers are there to take pictures of her half naked. Mm-hmm. Yes. I think Mandy Moore plays an amazing mean girl. She was also a mean girl in Saved.
Yep, and Saved, and she was very, like, religious.
Oh my God. And she throws the Bible at the main character at one point. Do you remember?
I don't want a Hanukkah bush this year.
The muffin shop is closed.
Such a great movie.
So my number 9 mean girl from movies and TV is Nancy from The Craft. Okay, I know she's a little different. She's a weird mean girl. But Fairuza Balk, first of all, she's such an alien-looking person, Fairuza Balk. So in that way, she's a unique mean girl. She's also very poor, but it's all about power, right? And in her social group of the 3 witches, she literally tries to murder Nancy. So
that's kind of mean.
She's pretty mean. Yeah, she's pretty mean. She's a mean girl. She's a bitch. Okay, number 8. Have you seen Carrie?
Yes.
Yes. So Chris Hargensen, played by Nancy Allen, is the girl who, along with her boyfriend, drops the pig's blood on Carrie.
I remember that scene. I don't remember that character, but I haven't seen that movie in forever. But definitely whoever the fuck did that is a mean
She's a
girl.
Very mean girl. Yeah. Well, at the beginning, she's also, when Carrie first gets her period during PE, she's the main girl who, like, taunts her, and she, like, screams, "Plug it up," and then Carrie's, like, crying on the shower floor.
So sad.
It is really sad. Sissy Spacek is so amazing in that role. But you know what? Chris Hargensen is a basic bitch.
Ugh.
That's the other, like, one extreme of Mean Girl is, like, Regina George, who really is, like, she's mean, yes, but she's also fucking fierce, right? Or, like, Cher from Clueless, who's, like, a nice kind of Mean Girl, but... Gag me with a spoon. But Chris Hargensen is just, like, a basic bitch, who, like, probably peaked in 9th grade.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So my number 7 is Heather from Heathers.
Yes. And I just recently saw Heathers for the first time.
You?
We were, like, just talking about this.
Oh, we were. It's deja vu.
And I thought it was great. And I never watched it because I thought it was going to be about something different. I had no idea that it was this, like, dark, witty, like, cult comedy sort of situation.
And if you like Mean Girls, you're very likely going to like Heathers.
Yes, it's amazing.
To me, Heathers is the Mean Girls for the generation before. Or maybe I should say Mean Girls is the Heathers for the generation after. But I love Kim Walker as the Heather, the main Heather.
Yeah.
I think she's so, like, she's not, I mean, this sounds bad, but, like, she's not even that pretty.
And you know what? She's dead in real life.
Oh, is she really?
So now you're just stomping on her grave.
I mean, that sounds bad, but, like, whatever.
I mean...
And Christian Slater as the boy toy, the eye candy in there.
Do you think he's sexy?
Young Christian Slater.
I was, like, really torn because he also, like, looked like a fucking murderer, which,
yeah, he's very... He kind of reminds me of James Franco in that I think he's sexy, but also, like, skeezy.
I was really torn. Yeah, I couldn't tell if, like, I was into him or if I was, like, repulsed by him. Like, at every moment, I was like, do I? Don't I?
It's that question of, like, how much do I hate myself, whether or not I want to actually have sex with him, you know?
Yeah.
And most days, I'm like, yeah, let's bang him.
Yeah.
I'm feeling terrible.
Yeah. Good movie.
Yeah, super good. Heathers. Okay, number 6. Catherine from Cruel Intentions.
Yes.
She's actually, besides Mean Girls, she's probably my personal favorite Mean Girl. I love Sarah Michelle Gellar as Catherine, and I love that fucking cross with the coke in it she wears around her neck.
So fabulous.
So
I really
good.
like that movie.
Oh, I love Cruel Intentions. Yeah. That's so fucking good. It does make me cry, though, at the end. But no spoilers.
It's quite sad.
I didn't see it coming.
It's really good. Yeah, I wouldn't. That's a movie I also don't think I saw for a long time because I didn't know what it was about.
I thought it was going to be like... I have no idea why I thought it was going to be. But it proved to be, like, right up my alley.
Loved it. She's great. But I love Sarah Michelle Gellar because of Buffy.
And she was the original Grudge Girl, wasn't she?
Oh, girl, she was.
Yes,
and we were obsessed with that.
We were scared of that movie. Oh, my God.
Scary.
Yeah, well, we screamed for a solid 5 minutes in the theater, I think.
Everyone thanked us.
Yeah, they loved us. But, you know, Catherine is a notable Mean Girl because she doesn't have a clique. Like, Sebastian, her stepbrother, is really her only...
And then when spoilers, when he abandons her, she's so, like, lost and angry.
Yes, and, like, full of just, like, malice.
Yeah, she's scary.
Yeah, she's one of the scariest Mean Girls on the list. Okay, number 5. I don't know if you'll remember this character, but Darla from Dazed and Confused.
Ooh, I don't. I haven't seen that movie in a hot minute, but tell me more.
She's played by Parker Posey. Do you remember her now?
I can see her.
You know when they're hazing the freshman girls? Parker Posey is mostly in charge of that. So I think one of her quotes is something along the lines of, "Get on the fucking ground, you freshman bitches! Yeah. Open up your fucking freshman mouths!"
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I love Parker Posey. I think I've heard she's a legit bitch in real life, which I'm not at all shocked. Like, I give her that. That's fine. But she's an interesting Mean Girl because she's actually a very well-liked Mean Girl. She's like a quote-unquote Mean Girl, more similar to what we might have gone to high school with. Where, like, she hazes you, and, like, she's shitty, but she's not actually malicious. Yeah. Right? At least maybe not. Okay, number 4, Mean Girl. Have you seen Hairspray, Morgan?
Yes.
Yes. So Amber Von Tussle from Hairspray. She's played by Brittany Snow.
In the new one.
Yeah. Yeah. What else do you happen to know off the top of your head? What
Brittany
else?
Snow?
Yeah, I know her.
She's in Pitch Perfect.
Oh, that's maybe where I've seen her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty sure she's in Pitch Perfect. I think she's the blonde girl there.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's horrible as Amber Von Tussle. She's one of the meanest Mean Girls, I think.
Not kind.
No. Well, her mother's awful, too. Played by Michelle Pfeiffer in the new movie. Fabulous. I forget what her name is. Crab something? I don't know. Okay, number 3. Christy Masters from Romy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Oh, I love that movie.
I know, me too. Wait, is it Romy or Romy?
Romy.
I always say it wrong. I embarrass myself. Romy, which I do love, but I just can't pronounce her name. Christy Masters is one of the most disgusting mean girls to me. Like, I dislike her, maybe most of all the girls on this list. Do you remember at the end when they're flying off in the helicopter and Christy Masters' dress flies up and she's wearing, like, pregnancy panties?
Yes!
So good.
Yes.
Something that horrifies me, though, is the hot guy, quote-unquote, from high school who was never hot in Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. You know, the football guy who's, like, Christy Masters' boyfriend?
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
And then they get married and, like, she gets pregnant and whatever. And then at the high school reunion, he's, like, so gross and drunk and has, like, one of those gross, tiny, tight pot bellies. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's not, like, a real pot belly, but it's just like, well, that doesn't belong in your body.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's so gross. He throws up in the bushes. It just makes me sad.
Yeah.
The idea of a boy who I thought was beautiful in high school becoming that, like, actually depresses me.
Which probably has happened.
Well, girls I thought were pretty in high school became
You
pot
pointing at me?
Thanks, I forgot people can't see us. Yeah. So, number 2, Kim Kelly from Freaks and Geeks.
Yes!
Busy Phillips.
Oh, I love Busy Phillips.
I do, too.
She's
and
fierce.
I love Kim Kelly.
Yes.
She might be she's pretty horrible at the beginning of the TV series, but she's so charismatic, though. And I love her with James Franco. I think they're, like, the cutest couple.
I do, too, because also at first you don't really expect for, like, them to make a good couple because, like, he's, like, the hot, like, whatever guy.
And she's, like, the major bitch of the school.
Yeah. Well, and she's not very feminine.
No, that's true.
But I think she's beautiful.
Mm.
I think she's really beautiful. But, yeah, I think they're really cute together, and she's a total, like, cunt, and I love her. I love Freaks and Geeks. If you guys haven't seen that, I think it's still on Netflix, and you need to binge watch it.
Honestly, more than Heather's, more than Romy and Michelle's high school reunion, you have got to watch Freaks and Geeks if you haven't.
Love it.
I binge watched it. I watched it in college. That's the first time I saw it, and I was like touched by an angel.
Yeah.
Like Della Reese girl. I felt
really
it. I
good.
cried various times. Yeah, and young James Franco. Oh my god.
Yeah, so sexy.
And then I do have a special mention, but number 1, I had to give it to Regina George.
Oh, she's amazing.
I mean, I felt like if I didn't give her number 1 on this list, she might haunt my dreams forever.
And Rachel McAdams is predominantly such a sweet girl. Like, what she plays is normally, like, a kind, gentle sort of whatever. She does that really well. And I read that they ended up casting her as Regina because they felt like only a really sweet girl could play a mean girl really well.
Like, with the charisma and like that.
Mm-hmm. And she killed it.
Oh, she's amazing. Yeah. There's no moment of her performance that feels forced or fake or false to me. Like, it's a really good performance.
Oh my god, shut up.
I didn't say anything. And then my special mention, you're going to appreciate this, is Raja, Carmen, Manila, and Delta from season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race. They are, quote unquote, the Heathers of the season.
So cute.
And Morgan, what's the other group called?
The boogers.
The boogers.
That's what Mickey, you taught me what boogers were, and then I used that word excessively for a while, and then I've tucked it away and reeled in my use of it. But
you be yourself. I support you. I love you and your little drag lingo. You got 3 words. You use them over and over. So for anyone who doesn't know, from season 3, the Heathers are the beautiful girls, and the boogers, they called themselves Team Talent.
Which sounds like something we would call ourselves in high school.
The boogers are the girls who are a little bit less polished, let's say. So, you know, if you were going to look at the two of us, I would obviously be a Heather, and Morgan would be Queen Booger.
Girl, that's some bullshit.
You a booger. At one point in the season... Have you seen season 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race, Morgan?
I think I've seen some of it, but not all of it.
There's a point where one of the queens turns, and she's like, she's a booger, and she's like, can someone tell me who Heather is? She hasn't seen the movie. So the Heathers constantly call each other Heather.
That is confusing. I can see the confusion.
Who is Heather?
I love that. Now, I'm surprised that there wasn't an honorary mention in there that I'll just go ahead and add in for Margot and Elliot from The Magicians.
Oh, yes. I thought of that.
They are mean girls.
Yes. They are written to be mean girls. Yeah. And I love it too because one of one half of that duo is a gay man, which I appreciate, which is what we were just talking about. But you're totally right. They could also be an honorable mention. There are a lot of Mean Girls, like, in literature
everywhere,
and TV.
all over. Yeah. Mean Girl is a staple character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like, Draco Malfoy is, frankly, I mean, I know he's a straight man, but he's a mean girl.
He's a mean girl.
Yeah, he's a mean girl.
Yeah, he is,
right? And
sure.
Pansy Parkinson, or where the fuck.
Oh, that stupid cunt. I hate Pansy Parkinson.
I know, she's a...
Her little flat-ass pig nose.
I know, she's so embarrassing.
Fucking muggle.
Yeah. Butt baby.
Yeah, so that was great. Thank you for taking us through your top 10
you're
Mean Girls
welcome.
and TV and such. I thought that I could lead you through a little list of some of my favorite things that the cast has done that's not Mean Girls.
Ooh.
Right? So everyone was great in Mean Girls. I felt like it was cast really well. Everyone was super fantastic. But a lot of those people have gone on to do other fantastic things. So I just wanted to tell you some of my favorite things.
Ooh, I can't wait.
So Tina Fey. Let's just start with the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Tina Fey has done a million amazing things. She's a fantastic writer, actor. She's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing in every way. One of my favorite things that she has done is 30 Rock. Have you ever seen much of 30 Rock?
You know, I haven't actually watched the entire... I just decided recently I'm going to go back and watch it because... This is dumb, but I heard on RuPaul's podcast, What's the Tea, that he went back and rewatched it recently, and he said he thought it was the best sitcom that has ever been produced.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I will say the first season's kind of rough.
That may be why I didn't
Maybe
get into
even
it.
the first, like, half of the second season.
Really?
But there's like so many seasons, like 7 or 8 or something, so you have a lot of time. But yeah, so if you don't like it in the beginning, it's because it's a brand new thing, and you got to give it time to, like, find its voice. But when it finds its voice... It is hysterical. Like, all these one-liners that Tina Fey wrote for Mean Girls, that is her talent. Like, writing, like, one-liners. And that show is just, like, 30 minutes of one-liners, like, every fucking episode. It is hilarious.
Give it maybe I'll go back and start on, like, season 3.
Yeah.
And watch the end.
It's amazing. And it's very, like, what's it called? If it's not, like, everything's not, like, super happy.
Oh, like anal prolapse.
Just like that.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
it's like... It's a very negative comedy show. Everything is like
a dark comedy.
It's not super dark, like, because it's pretty ridiculous, but everything is like based in like negativity. So it's like I'm making fun of you and being like negative about it, but it's still like hilarious. And then I did a ridiculous thing.
But it's like halfway between, based on what I know about it. So correct me if I'm wrong. It's like halfway between, say, Parks and Rec and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
So you're hearing me out. Yeah, I'm meeting you halfway because my next person is Amy Poehler.
Oh yes,
and Amy Poehler is amazing, and Amy and Tina for life.
Yes,
for
cutest
life.
differs around,
Love
except us, obviously.
Yes, but they give you like friendship goals, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Amy Poehler, my favorite thing that she has done is Parks and Rec, and it is amazing in the same way that 30 Rock is, but except in the exact, like, polar opposite direction. Like, it has so much positivity.
Yes.
Like, and it's hilarious, right? Like, I love it. I'm obsessed with it. Everything is so positive and upbeat, and 30 Rock is just, like, on the other side of the fence where everything is, like, so upbeat, but negative. And so it's just, like, I get if people like one or the other, but can't get into both. But I'm, like, a perfect mix of that person that, like, I love making jokes about, like, something and your mom is dead and that's the punchline. Or I'm also into making jokes about, like, and you can achieve everything. I made 12 binders. Like, I'm
Follow
the
your
perfect
dreams.
combination of,
Be
like,
yourself.
that.
Shoot for the stars.
Yeah. So...
I do love Parks and Rec. Now, I've watched that through 2 or 3 times. But the reason I like it so much is, one, because it is hilarious. But that positivity, to me, is very hard to find on TV. Something that you watch and consistently makes you feel uplifted like that. Unique. Like, I've literally thought in my head, I wish I could live my life and react similar to the way these people react to problems on Parks and Rec. You know.
So, I have watched Parks and Rec and 30 Rock several times through, and I only saw 30 Rock for the first time like 2 years ago, and I've already watched the whole series like 3 times.
Wow.
And I just saw it like for the first time ever recently. So
I'll give it another shot because I fucking
it's great. And they're both, I believe, all on Netflix, free for you to binge.
Woo! Whistle go woo!
Woo woo! Okay, so a little lady you guys might know, Rachel McAdams, who was amazing as Regina. She's gone on to do every Nicholas Sparks movie that ever happened and be the face of that.
Is she a Walk to Remember?
No, that was Mandy Moore. She was like The Notebook,
The Notebook.
Which I actually really like The Notebook, and I'm not into like that Nicholas Sparks shit.
Yeah, I've never seen one actually.
The Notebook is really good, but like maybe you wouldn't like it. I don't know, but I like it and it gets me. She's done a lot of things action. She's been in a lot of action films. She was recently in Doctor Strange with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, really? I haven't got
She's
to see
in
that
like
yet.
the Sherlock films with Robert Downey Jr., a different Sherlock, not Benedict Cumberbatch. And she does a bunch of stuff like that. But my thing, a little gem that I love that she's in that maybe you guys haven't heard or seen that you absolutely have to watch is called About Time. And it's like it's a dramedy. It's very funny, but it's also like, a little sad and kind of get you in the heartstrings. But it's also a fantasy because it stars Domhnall Gleeson, who is... he was in the Harry Potter films. He played like Charlie Weasley. He was in Ex Machina and The Force Awakens. And it also stars Bill Nye, but not the science guy.
Oh,
like
I got so excited.
The old British one who's in like Love Actually. As,
I love him. The like washed out rock star guy.
And so he plays Domhnall Gleeson's father, and they have this like fantastical ability in their family that like the oldest male or something has the ability to like travel back in time. And so it's like a quirky dramedy about like Domhnall inheriting, I can't remember his name is in the movie, but he inherits that ability and then like learning to live with it, and he falls in love with Rachel McAdams. And like,
who wouldn't, frankly.
Right? And like he is always trying to like go back and fix like the little mistakes that he makes with her. And then of course there's consequences for that throughout life. But it's an amazing film. Like, and actually I found it on a list of like, if you love Love Actually, you would love this movie. And then another little lady that you probably remember, Lindsay Lohan.
Nah, I don't know her.
Literally the only other movie I can think that I love that she's in is The Parent Trap.
She was in, did you see, and that was way before Mean Girls, did you see that movie Confessions of a Shopaholic?
I did.
It's horrible.
I didn't like it.
It was horrible. I watched that. I was on shrooms. And girl, even then I didn't like it.
It's not good.
I was like, this movie is horrible.
Yeah.
But why are all the backgrounds fake? I thought all the backgrounds were painted. Someone was like, girl, that's not painted. And I was like, it's fake. It all looks fake.
You on shrooms.
I was
you
on
old
shrooms.
skeezy hoe.
I know. Just being myself.
Yeah, so Lindsay Lohan's famous for a number of reasons. Not one is being in a bunch of fantastic films. Unfortunately, her career sort of fizzled. But she will always have Mean Girls, and she will always have The Parent Trap, which was legit good.
And frankly, the royalties from Mean Girls probably
she's going to be
will
living
keep
off
her
that
going.
forever.
Yeah.
Every time we say fugly slut, we send her a check for $10. Amanda Seyfried played Karen.
She's
Karen
a
Smith.
success story.
She really is one of America's sweethearts right now. She's been in a lot of stuff. When Hollywood found out that she could sing,
Les Mis, yeah,
she really got her bearings. She was in Mamma Mia before she was in Les Mis.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yep.
And she was the cast of Mamma Mia occasionally left something to be desired, but overall it was a solid film. And she was the star for sure. Meryl Streep was in it, but Amanda Seyfried was the star of that movie. Like, she was fantastic. And then of course she was beautiful in Les Miserables.
She was so good.
It was amazing. Her performance was great.
Not Fontaine. What's her name?
Her name is Fontaine's daughter.
Claudette. Oh God! And he sings. He sings her name.
No.
Claudette.
Is it Claudette?
No. Anyway, whatever the fuck
it's
her
a
name is.
that's like that I can't remember at the moment.
And she's basic, but she plays her very well. Yes.
And then she's also in like a bunch of other films. Like, she's in super like romantic comedy things. And I actually saw this meme. She was in like some sort of Nicholas Sparks bullshit starring Channing Tatum also. And then Rachel McAdams was in another movie similar to that starring Channing Tatum. And the meme was like, had a picture of their film side by side and then a picture of Gretchen Wieners by herself, and it just said none for Gretchen Wieners.
Oh, that poor great. Lacey. What's her name? Lacey something other.
Chabert, I think.
Yeah, she hasn't done much, has she?
Yeah,
but by the way, it's Cosette.
Oh, Cosette, yeah.
Cosette.
Yes. Yeah. So speaking of Lacey Chabert, name check, I don't know. The thing that she has done that's not Mean Girls that I love and have been obsessed with is The Wild Thornberrys. She was the voice of Eliza Thornberry.
True. And The Wild Thornberrys, that was a really
It was legit good. Tim Curry was her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nigel.
So that's really, that makes me happy because she is my personal favorite Mean Girl. So I'm glad that she's
It's kind of weird that she hasn't done more because she's so fantastic and beautiful.
I thought she was the best actress of the three Mean Girls, though. The more I think about it, I think Rachel McAdams was actually... I feel like I could see more of the work with Gretchen, but she was my favorite, though. Amanda
Seyfried, I will say, was definitely the worst actress, I felt like, but she's become such a good actress.
That was her breakout role.
And it was her first movie, so, like, she did what she could do, and she's learned a lot. And
she wasn't bad. She wasn't stand out.
Yeah, well, and of course she was the dumb girl, so she didn't have really a lot to work with.
Yeah. Story of your life.
So Tim Meadows, I'm just going to segue away from
my hate.
Tim Meadows, who played Mr. Duvall, the principal, he's famous because of Saturday Night Live, and he just, does a lot of sort of stuff like Mean Girls. But I don't know if you guys saw, he had his own standalone film based on his characters from SNL, and it's called The Ladies' Man.
Oh.
And it's where he's always like,
is that good?
His skit of The Ladies' Man is like him like drinking Cavassier and like talking about like
so
whatever. He's just like, you would think the movie is stupid, and it kind of is, but also it's hilarious.
Is it really?
You have to see it. It's so funny. The Ladies' Man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the last one that I wrote down is Lizzie Kaplan, who plays Janice Ian. Carved out just a weird, quirky career for herself, which is perfect for who she is.
Oh, yeah. She was on that show. That show about waiters.
Sure she was.
Do you not know that show I'm talking about? You should watch
Adam
it.
Scott?
Yes!
Yes.
Yes.
Party Down?
Yes, Party Down!
Yeah.
And I love them. I loved Adam Scott. And what's her name?
Lizzie Kaplan?
Lizzie Kaplan. I love them together on that show.
So, I haven't seen all that, but me too. But, yeah, she did that, and she's had a lot of, like, TV show appearances, and she's done a lot of, like, stuff. And she looks really different now than she did.
She looks good. I think she's somehow, maybe it's the hair, she looks younger now than she did in Mean Girls. Yeah. That's not fair. She's a witch.
But a movie that she's in that you guys maybe haven't seen because you thought it would be super stupid, which is how I felt, but you were wrong. It's The Interview with James Franco and Seth Rogen.
Oh, yeah.
That, like, never made it to theaters because North Korea was like, we're going to blow America up if we do that. So we got pulled.
It's not a bad movie, though.
No, it's so funny. I waited forever to see it because I was like, this is good shit. It is legit hilarious.
Yeah.
And Lizzie Kaplan is amazing in it, and you guys should watch it. So, yeah, so some people's careers did not blossom as much as others, but some of those people, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, most of all, have just, like, launched into fucking stars.
And Lindsay Lohan could have been one of the biggest stars on Earth.
Yeah, she messed that one up.
Well, and I feel her. You know what? She's a child star, and that's always so hard. It's just like just like they say about Harry Potter. Like, he should not grow up with people bowing to him and, like, loving on him all the time. Like, he needs to... like have some adversity in his life, and she found
some adversity.
Yeah, that's true. She needed some and she got some. Also, it seems like her parents are horrible. I guess I just want to make excuses for her because I really like her. I wish she wasn't fucking it up constantly. Well, Morgie, it is my privilege now to make you think. Do you think you're prepared to think?
Oh my god, shut up.
I didn't say anything. No, we'll do it over and over. I have a deep question for you for this new segment that we're calling, I think, Going Deep.
Yes, that's what we're calling it.
I love it. Okay, so here's my deep question. If someone said something awful about you, you'd want to know, right?
Oh, man. I think somewhere in my games I have a similar question because would I want to know?
I think that's an actual, like, deep question.
I don't think I would. I think that if there was a burn book at the time when I was in high school and somebody wrote something mean about me, I wouldn't want to know about it then. I feel like if I found out about it now, like at service, like, oh, we found this book and somebody said, like, you were a loser. Like, at the time, that probably actually really would have hurt me. But, like, now, I would be like, oh, okay, well, whatever. They thought I was
fuck
a loser.
them. Yeah.
Now I'm in the lower middle class. That's fine. And now I'm in Texas.
You can go buy a new trash can whenever you'd like.
Yeah, as long as it's that I
Yeah.
I think at the time, I don't think I want to know something mean. Like, if you as a friend heard somebody say something mean about me, I think you would shield me from it.
Totally.
Honestly.
Unless it was someone I felt like you could take. Not physically, but I mean...
Or if it was hilarious. If somebody said something hilariously mean about me, and, like, you think that I would think it's funny more than mean, then I would want to know. As a friend, you would have to gauge, knowing me, what would I want?
I think I would want... The only situation in which I would want to know something awful that someone said about me is if I am under the impression that they love me deeply and like would not, like if my boyfriend says something horrible about me or something like that, I would want to know. But if it's like some random January Jones ass bitch, like I don't care about her. Like who cares?
Or if it's like, also if it's just like a good friend in passing, you had a fight and then maybe they said something.
Yeah, I would know. I don't even know that. No, because if it was said in anger, yeah. But if there's like someone legit going backstabbing me behind my back, then I do want to know. Yeah, but I'm very fragile and
same.
Yeah, I don't really need like. I understand people say bad things about me as I say bad things about other people, but I literally choose to live in my head in which everyone likes me.
Okay, so we love Mean Girls.
Definitely.
Obviously.
Yes.
And that's just how everyone feels, right?
I would hope so.
Wrong.
What?
I'm here to hit you with some second opinion.
No, you made these up. I don't believe it. I don't believe that people dislike this.
From Amazon, 1-star reviews.
Oh my god.
Now, I will tell you, as per the usual on Things We Love, there wasn't a huge amount of 1-star reviews, and most of them were like, my playback's broken, or this DVD is shitty, or she doesn't go here. But here are a couple of people who did not care for Mean Girls. 1 star. By Melanie Hasty. Hasty?
Oh, I think she may have been. I'm mad already.
Melanie says, not appropriate for my 11 and 13-year-old daughters. Well, really, Melanie? Isn't it PG-13? Maybe it's not appropriate for your 11-year-old daughter, you old
This stupid bitch. What was her name? Melanie who?
Hasty.
Yeah, she was hasty. You know what she was hasty about is having all those children and then not making the time to see if that movie is appropriate for a child and then getting mad at the movie.
Re-watch it, Melanie.
Wow, Melanie. Wife here.
1 star. Terrible, boring, and not worth spending your time or money on. By J. By J.
How do they spell their name?
The letter.
Just the letter J. Wow. They're hiding.
Their name is not worth spending time or money on.
No, and neither is their future.
Okay, here's their review. This was just about the worst movie I have seen. Take a nice kid, turn her into a world-class jerk, and a short and probably short-lived redemption. I'll never get back the time lost. Don't waste yours. Unless, of course, you loved Paris Hilton's Pledge This. Roger E. says, I guess the message is, you have to live every day as if you suddenly might get hit by a school bus. Well, you know what the message is, Jay? The message is like, maybe you just shouldn't watch really fucking funny movies. Because you're a dumb bitch.
Well, and also,
sir.
that wasn't what happened in the movie. Did he not finish it?
And I don't know.
Or they not finish it?
This is by Paris Hilton in it, but maybe I like that. I don't know. But
I'll tell you what.
Like Mean Girls.
I really like when Paris and Nicole did the Simple Life. I thought that was great reality television.
Did you?
I really did.
You didn't think that was embarrassing for Arkansas?
No. Do you remember that guy named Chomps they met who had amazing teeth? He was a minor character who flirted with one of the girls, and I said, ha-ha! Like, defying stereotypes. He had beautiful teeth. No, I didn't mind. As whatever. Arkansas has done that to itself. So, I don't have a love. But anyway, that's not what this is about. In the movie, yes, she's a nice kid. Yes, she becomes a horrible person, but then she comes back out of that horribleness, right? And she, like, learns a lesson.
So many lessons. They all learn lessons.
That's what it is to be a bully in school. You have to learn the lesson not to. Ugh, I hate you, Jay.
1 star by Sister Not Bro. That's one word. Sister Not Bro.
Okay.
Sister Not Bro thinks it's pure garbage, but that's being kind. Pure garbage?
Yeah, she's not being very kind. I assume she's a she, sister, not bro.
Listen.
Hey, brah. Hey, brah. Hey, brah.
Brah.
You have horrible taste in movies.
Obviously. 1 star. Very inappropriate by S. Riddle. While it may be trying to make a point about bullying in Mean Girls, it is done in a crude way. Didn't get past the first 15 minutes. Awful. Well, if you only watch the first 15 minutes, first of all, I think the first 15 minutes are some of the best.
Yeah, I love the first 15 minutes. So hilarious.
If you get past that, you don't deserve for the nuggets of good, like, comedy and, like, one-liners that you are in store for.
Yeah, that's a really good point. These people who don't like Mean Girls, more than any other movie or book that we've talked about so far, if you give Mean Girls a bad rating, go ahead and just see yourself out of my apartment. Like, honestly. Unless you have a really good argument for why this isn't an amazing movie that means something to you, I'm finished.
Girl.
I'm finished with you, S. Riddle. I know the answer.
1 star. Awful. This movie is a disgusting presentation of Lindsay. Only in the last 15 minutes they finally showed some redeeming qualities. I suggest buying something with positive moral values. Alright. No. Just no. This person, no.
Let's talk about, since 2 people have brought this up now, let's talk about plot structure, okay? Let's talk about if you don't have conflict in a movie, and if the protagonist doesn't make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, yes, then, like, that's not a movie.
Girl.
That actually makes me angry, because those people are illiterate.
And if they don't think there's any redeeming qualities, they didn't hear Tim Meadows give us the phrase fuggly sluts.
Fuggly slut.
These people, they're not in the right mindset. And you know what? I've heard other people say that they don't like mean to mean. And it's because they're harboring some kind of, like, sadness, I think, that's attached to, like,
or guilt.
that sort of...
Maybe guilt.
Yeah, maybe, or guilt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so they can't see past it to see how, like, hilarious and ridiculous and amazing it is.
And even, okay, I get that, like, ooh, the overall tone's too mean. Like, I'm totally that way with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right? Like, I've said that before. I can't watch that show. It's just too mean for me. But there are plenty of genuinely nice characters in this movie. Like, Janice and, I always forget his name. Why do I do this? Damien. I want my picture back. Danny DeVito, I love your work. They're really close friends, and they're very sweet to each other.
Really good friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, and they're kind to each other, and, like, they defend each other. The Mean Girls are all mean, but that's kind of the fucking point. Aaron Samuels is a really nice guy. Yeah, he's manipulated easily, but, like, that's not as bad. And Katie's great, except for, like, I'd say 40 minutes near the middle of the movie, which is most of the movie, granted, when she's becoming a mean girl. But, like, on either end, she's a total sweetheart. And Tina Fey's great. Yes! Tina Fey's, like, an amazing person. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it. There are plenty of nice people in that movie.
So that's some bullshit that some, like, fucking nobodies who sit at the sexually active band geek table.
They're eating their feelings, or not eating anything, or making out with a tall redhead. That's the first time I'm sorry. That's the first time a second opinion has actually made me yell. Like, that actually made me mad. I was actually mad.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we are done and we've got all of our angst and our
a little bit.
Let's go to the game corner. Let's
Ooh, time to play a motherfucking game.
All right, baby. Let's start with a new game that I made special just for this episode.
Ooh.
It's called She Doesn't Even Go Here.
She doesn't even go here.
And it's a game about people who are out of place in history, fiction, and more.
Oh my god, is every answer Morgan Messick?
Well, it might be. Okay, so I'm going to just run you through some scenarios, and you're going to tell me who is the person. Okay?
Okie dokies.
Or people.
The person who doesn't go here.
Yes.
Okay.
This queen once held the throne in Scotland and France while claiming sovereignty over England, though she struggled to find a place in any of her countries.
I think you're talking about Mary, Queen of Scots.
It is Mary, Queen of Scots.
Yes.
That poor baby wasn't wanted nowhere.
No, and she was so fierce, though.
She was. I loved her.
Very fierce.
This cute alien was the star of a Steven Spielberg classic and wanted to fly home.
Little known fact, this alien goes by the nickname Morgan.
Oh.
But most people know him as E.T.
E.T.
Yeah. Phone home.
He doesn't go here, girl.
No, he does not go here. And you know what? In that scene in the closet, do you know what I'm talking about? Where he's in with all the stuffed animals? You mean like, no, yes, I am talking about childhood, but you know, there's a scene where E.T.'s in the closet, and it's like so scary. Like, I actually find that very scary, that one scene.
He's so cute.
He does not belong.
This kid who was raised by apes and became king of the jungle.
First of all, I didn't even know that you had raised any children, Morgan. You're talking about Tarzan.
Tarzan, king of the jungle. She was an honorary Heather, but not a Heather. We were just talking about.
Oh, and can I remember her name? Veronica? Yes.
Winona Ryder.
I love... Winona Ryder is very that girl, you know?
Yeah.
Does she ever play a mean girl? Because she could, I bet.
I'm sure she did.
I don't know.
I mean, she kind of became a mean girl.
Yeah, I suppose. Can you be a mean girl when you're being arrested for shoplifting, though? I don't know about that.
Winona.
Free Winona! Free Winona!
This kid, who was taken in by wolves and raised as a man cub.
Oh! You know what's funny? I thought first you were talking about Princess Mononoke, but you're talking about Mowgli.
Yeah. The smartest of her trio, a witch with wits among idiots. I can give you a hint.
Okay.
She's from a future topic that we're covering.
Oh.
A past topic.
Oh, a past topic. Are you talking about Michelle Pfeiffer in Stardust? Okay, no.
Past topic in real time, or it's a... We haven't recorded it yet, but it's coming out before this episode.
Oh.
And it's about magic.
Was it Harry Potter? It's from Harry Potter?
Yes, and she's smart, and she's in a trio.
She Hermione?
It's Hermione!
Oh!
She began her stay as a prisoner, but became everybody's sweetheart as she fell in love with her captor in Disney's favorite case of Stockholm Syndrome.
Ooh. Originally I was thinking Dany from Game of Thrones, but you said Disney falls in love with her captor. Oh! Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
Yes!
She doesn't even go here!
She's not even a fucking candlestick!
This little girl wandered into a world looking for a place to hide and found a world of adventure.
Oh, are you talking about Lucy?
Lucy!
From Chronicles of Narnia? Who doesn't belong? Have you seen the BBC version, the made-for-TV version?
Yeah, I love it.
I cannot stand that Lucy. Yeah, it's a fine adaptation, but yeah, her lisp, I can't handle it.
This future king wandered to the Shadowland for a time, making friends with warthogs and meerkats.
Aww, Simba from The Lion King.
That's right.
He is very much an outcast. So sad.
This character grew up in the North, was treated better than a bastard, but has always been a prisoner at heart.
Oh, you know nothing, Jon Snow. What?
It's not Jon Snow.
Is it not Jon Snow?
He's treated better than a bastard.
Oh, slightly.
Prisoner.
Treated better than a bastard, so... Yeah, tell me.
Theon Greyjoy.
Oh, Theon Greyjoy, my favorite. You're right. He was
raised at Winterfell, but then, he was a prisoner.
Yeah, he totally was. Yeah, no, legit. Yeah, to make sure the Iron Islands didn't rebel. You're right. Okay.
These founders of Plymouth, Massachusetts came to America in the early 1600s.
RuPaul and the Club Kids.
Oh, girl.
No, I wish we'd have a very different country. Those pilgrims.
Yes, girl, and they don't even go here.
They do not belong. I think what we should do is put them on a big ship and make them cross an ocean to an unknown land.
Girl, let's give them some blankets.
I would have... Oh, now we're being hateful. Ah.
So that has been this edition of She Doesn't Even Go Here.
Which means it is now time for one of my favorite games on Earth. I don't know if you've heard this before. I fucking hate Monopoly, real talk. Yeah, my family always wants to play, and I fucking hate it. No, this is a newish game. Okay, you may have heard of something like this before. It's called Two Anthonys and an Anferny.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like in another life I have this game, possibly by another name.
You may have heard of it as the inferior Two Truths and a Lie.
Oh,
yes.
Now that you say that, I do have some recall of that.
So I've got two Anthonys, two true things, and an Anferny for you. Could I go first, Morgie?
Yes, please.
Yes, because after all, I am a white man. Privilege!
I'll just go in the kitchen and make something.
Oh, sounds good. And then I'll hang myself on a cross and set myself on fire.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, let's just live out.
That was next on my agenda.
Yeah, oh no! 53% of white women voted for Trump.
What?
Okay. Anyway, okay. 2 Anthony's and Anthony. Number 1. Jonathan Bennett, a.k.a. Aaron Samuels, legitimately made Lindsay Lohan blush several times on camera. Mm-hmm. So she thought he was cute too. Could be true. Could be true. Option number 2. According to Daniel Franzese, James Franco was almost cast as Aaron, but he was fired after the first table read.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
And then option number 3, Amanda Seyfried was a recast. So they had cast that role already, fired that person, and then brought her in.
What was the first one again you said? Oh,
the first one was Jonathan Bennett was able to make Lindsay Lohan blush in real time on camera.
Okay, so Lindsay's blushing.
Mm-hmm.
James Franco and Aaron Samuels.
Mm-hmm.
Or Amanda Seyfried was a recast.
Mm-hmm.
One of those is not.
One of those is an Anthony.
And you know how we feel about that.
Not great. Not great.
I think the first one is an Anthony. The thing with Jonathan Bennett.
That is, in fact, true. That's an Anthony. Okay. Yeah. He was able to make Lindsay Lohan blush on camera. It's also true that about the whole James Franco thing. Now, that's from Daniel Franzese. I don't know about that.
I had heard that, which is why I thought that James Franco.
Can you imagine James Franco in that? I think there's a reason. I love him, but I think there's a reason he got fired. Because, he's not able to do the, boy next door thing very well. But actually, they're all connected because Jonathan Bennett, who plays Aaron Samuels, he was the recast originally from James Franco. Yeah.
Okay.
So I switched it up on you.
Okay, and then you just made that thing up about Karen?
Yeah, that's just a lie. Yeah.
All right. Tina Fey has a noticeable scar on her cheek from a terrible car accident that she was in while she was in high school.
I know she has that scar, but I don't know what it's from, so that could be an Anthony.
Number 2. Tina Fey's big screen debut was in Mean Girls. It was her first ever big screen.
Ooh.
Number 3. Tina Fey wrote on Saturday Night Live for 3 years before appearing as a regular on screen. So before she was just a writer. Okay?
I think the Anthony is that this was Tina Fey's big screen debut.
This, in fact, was Tina Fey.
Oh, shit. Really?
Her first big screen movie. And she wrote it, too.
Oh, so amazing.
And then she also wrote on SNL for 3 years before David Jimmy Fallon. That was her first regular appearance.
Totally.
And the Anthony was that she got her scar from a terrible car accident. She actually got her scar when she was 5 years old, playing in her finger, walked up and violently attacked her with a knife.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I had read somewhere that she got it in a really traumatic way.
That's so fucking terrible.
That's horrible. Yeah.
And then she said, obviously she overcame wrong with it, but that, as she started to have children, she had to, see a therapist, and her therapist was like, girl, you're going to go crazy when that child turns 5. You're going to have all these, resurging memories. So I guess she dealt with that, because her kids are old now, but that's so sad.
That is really sad. Yeah. And that's, you know what, that's a case of, it was so close to, if he slashed her cheek, he could have just as easily slashed her throat. And then can you just selfishly, not even her family and all. No, or Mean Girls, or the thousands of other things she's done that I love.
Amy wouldn't have Tina.
Oh no, girl. That's not a world. That's a whole different alternate universe where
sad.
That's hell. That's hell on earth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is just a fun fact about Tina Fey. Her real name is Elizabeth.
Really?
And her middle name is this really interesting name. It's Stamatina, and so she just takes Tina from the last part of her middle name. All right, well, we have time for one more little gamey game.
Mm-hmm.
A little classic. Which one?
Which one?
Which one?
Which one?
Which one?
Which one?
All right. Get in, loser. We're going shopping. Who do you take to the mall with you? Damien or Janice?
I believe... It's okay. Now, I'm sorry, but it really depends on why I'm going to the mall. Because if I'm going to the mall to like waste a day and chill, Janice, because she's so hateful, she would make me laugh so hard. If I'm actually going to shop, then I would go with Damien.
Yeah.
Because Janice has horrible taste.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Well, it is, yeah.
That's fair. It's lunchtime. There's a seat open with the sexually active band geek table or the burnouts. Which table?
Burnouts, I think. If they'll have me. Yeah. Yeah, because I like... The thing that turns me off about the sexually active band geeks is they don't care about looking cool. And I care about looking cool. And I feel like burnouts are like effortlessly cool. And I like that. I like that. Okay. Yeah.
A witch has bestowed upon you an honor. You get to emulate the career of one person. Tina Fey or Amy Poehler.
Oh, which one?
Yeah, girl.
Oh, shiza. Oh, this is a hard one. I think, so they both have had like best-selling books. They both have had like very famous TV series.
They've been in like the same
They've
movies.
both, yep.
They do, like everything together.
As far as like doing like commentary on politics, they both had really good.
It's almost like which one would you rather be friends with? Because if you're going to be Tina, then
that's a great point. I think that of the two, I'm glad you said the friendship because that's a good deal breaker. I think that I would rather be Tina Fey so I can be friends with Amy Poehler.
Same.
Yeah.
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 Not that, like, of course I'd be friends with Tina Fey, but
oh my god, hands down in a second. Yeah.
I think Amy, I want to be her for a role back.
If Amy Poehler is really the light that all of her work makes me think that she is, like, my personality is much more like Tina Fey's, and I would find it maybe very difficult to constantly, like, pick people up the way she does. I'm more of, like, you know, sit in the corner and be shady kind of queen.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Good question.
Face-off time.
Ooh.
You have to switch faces with one of the plastics. Either Regina, Gretchen, Karen, or Katie.
Ooh. Permanently? Forever?
Forever.
Oh my god. So it's going to be their face on my man body? This is horrible.
They always said Regina had man children.
That's true. I think... You know what? I would choose to look like Gretchen.
Yeah?
Yeah, my little sister is super tan like that, and
is.
I'm so jealous. I want her skin tone so badly. And Gretchen, I've always thought was the most beautiful, actually. I tend to think, you know, a blonde white girl is kind of basic.
Oh, well, you know me. I think I would actually pick Gina, but not because she's like the queen bee. I could really work with her face.
Oh, totally. Yeah, she's got beautiful, like, jawbones.
All right. We're going to assign someone to butter your muffin.
Thank God, finally.
Aaron Samuels, played by Jonathan Bennett, or Jimmy Fallon. Which one?
Ooh, Aaron Samuels. Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe if I'd seen a movie in which I watched Jimmy Fallon run around in a soccer outfit, I honestly, that's the deal breaker for me. That's my athletic fantasy.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's the Spring Fling Dance, and a competitive speech competition is happening the same night.
Ooh.
You can only go to one event. Which one do you pick?
Compet.
Obviously.
No doubt,
right?
yeah.
I felt like that was the part of high school that we, like, super didn't care about. Like, I would always choose, like, a fun event over...
Fucking a school dance? Like what? Like in the cafeteria? Like decorated by the dance team? No, thank you. In fact, we even skipped prom senior year. We got all of our fancy clothes. We went to fancy dinner. We got a limo, but we did not go to the fucking stupid dance.
We did have lots of fun.
We did have tons of fun. It was a great night.
Your mom is a cool mom. She's not like those other moms. She wants to give you something special, so she offers you two things. The master bedroom with the balcony, or her platinum unlimited credit card. Which one?
Her platinum... Wait. Am I gonna, like, if I go spend a lot of money, am I gonna destroy my family forever? Do you know what I mean? Like, do we have this right here? That's a possibility. Well, I love the idea of a balcony. I mean, this question is kind of assuming I'm an asshole who's going to take advantage of my mother. I'd take the credit card. Sure, there's a lot more I can do with that.
I would too. I thought, actually, for you, that would be harder because I thought that you might love, like, basically a house-sized bedroom that is all yours.
Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely an appeal to that.
I do feel like the credit card's the obvious choice.
Well, I see why you thought that would be appealing. Though. You know what really stops me from going in the master bedroom is just imagining my sweet mom in, like, a tiny bedroom while I'm in the master. Like, that actually makes me really sad, and I cannot do that. Yeah.
Okay. Your therapist has advised you to find ways to channel your anger. Do you take up lacrosse or cross country?
Cross country. I mean, if I could do it, yeah. Lacrosse, I know nothing about lacrosse, and it looks very dangerous and complicated and also somehow kind of primal. Sure, and, like, I don't like it. I have no interest in that.
You've found a burn book with everyone from your high school in it.
Oh.
Do you share it with everyone? No one? Or just your closest friends?
Okay, so this is legit real life. I found my very own burn book, and I'm sharing it with no one ever.
Yeah, not even your closest friends?
No, like, I will not show it to you. It's so horrible. It's very embarrassing. I'm horrified.
Okay, so no one.
No one.
I feel like if I found a burn book, I would share it, but, like, everyone on the mean things inside.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait, this is a burn book that I found that someone else wrote?
Yes.
Oh, I share that with everybody.
You gonna show everyone?
Oh, yeah. Not in the shitty way that Regina does with her magical sticky things, but I would definitely be like, girl, we need to find out who wrote this burn book, because on page 16, she called me a cuck-sucking faggot. And on page 25, she said that you made out with an Oscar Mayer. Like, we need to figure.
One time.
But yeah, I would want to find out who did it so we can punish them with hatred.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
Your teacher is a drug pusher.
Mm.
She offers you two choices: marijuana or ecstasy tablets. Which one?
Ecstasy.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to get. Yeah. Yeah. If I'm lucky enough to have a high school teacher who is a drug pusher, I'm getting all the hallucinogenic drugs from them. Obviously. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
That was really fun, Morgie.
So you brought up the sticky magic papers. That was for real magic.
Mm-hmm.
That worked. And also number 2, that crown went on forever.
I know.
She wrote it. Magic crown.
You know, one of the biggest regrets of my life, speaking of that crown, is that, you know, I won the drag competition at my college senior year, and they gave me a little plastic crown. And now, granted, only like 15 girls competed in this, and most of them were men in dresses. You know what I mean? Like, not true drag queens. But when I won, I so wish that I had memorized that speech and broken it. And because it would have been a moment that would have, like, my, like, cunt reputation, which is, I would say, yeah, exactly. It would have been, like, forever sort of, like, set in stone if I had been able to pull off that one moment and broken that crown and thrown it. But I didn't, and now I'm just a loser who talks about things. I do still have that crown somewhere.
Then I guess it's okay.
No, it's horrible.
Well,
I missed my chance to be Katie Heron.
Well,
I'm from Michigan.
Aww. Well, thank you for joining us to discuss all things Mean Girls and Queens and anger and high school.
I feel like there might be some things on here that might embarrass me later.
All right, so if you guys want to follow us, keep up with what we're doing, you can find us on our website, bnbcast.wordpress.com. We link to all of our podcast episodes so you can hear those from there, or you can read our blog. Mm-hmm. Mickey has a new thing that he's doing.
Mm-hmm. It's called Top 5 Wednesdays, and it's just a little thing on Goodreads, like someone pulls together these topics. But it's really fun because it's all centered on literature, and it makes for a really easy blog post for us, and Morgie's going to do some of them as well. We're going to switch back and forth, but, you know, you should really check out the blog because we also have all the links to our Instagram and our Facebook, and, like, it's like the hub of all things Beauty and the Bitch.
And if you guys want to find us on Instagram just through your app, you can search us out at BNBcast. Find us on there. Give us a follow. We're always doing funny, mean little information.
And we're on Facebook. You can just search Beauty and the Bitch on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Or BNBcast as well.
BNBcast. You can also search for me on Facebook if you're into that life. My name is Mick, M-I-C, Parker. And you can add me as a friend.
Yeah, and you can find me on Instagram at Morgandolph. And while you guys are finding us on our podcast and you're subscribing, please, you guys can go ahead and give us a rating, 5 stars. We really appreciate it. We're on iTunes and Stitcher, and we're available on our website. Tell your friends. We have a lot of really exciting content coming up in the future. We are embarking on... This is a content club.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
We're continuing to embark on our journey for Harry Potter. So our next episode is going to be the Chamber of Secrets.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Please join us on our very epic journey where we cry and laugh and tell you all our feelings about Harry Potter and how it changed the world. Because for me, it did. Mm-hmm.
It was probably really special, Morgan, that you got to see another basilisk sort of in literature, because you probably thought you were the only slimy, disgusting, large, evil snake.
And when you got to read all about Moaning Myrtle, no one loved her and she died sad and alone, you got a little glimpse into your future. So
that may also be true. That's fine.
Everyone gets a little something out of it.
There's something for everyone in that book. So, my friends, no plugs this week. We're just going to let you be yourselves. You know what you should do, though? Is actually put something in the comments that you think is pluggable. Why not? I want to know what you would like to plug this week.
You tell us what to eat or read or listen to.
Yeah, because we're constantly telling you what to do, and we're stupid as fuck. We don't know.
We don't know shit.
Yeah, so you let us know. What should we be spending our time on?
All right, well, until we enter the chamber, goodbye, BB.
Bye, BB. Bye. She doesn't even go here.
Ugh.